qualifier for Daniel, I'll put it this way: at some time you will smell the lion's breath. At some time you will smell the lion's breath. You ever notice, we had kind of fun with the teachers in the first class with the teaching the younger ones. Ever notice the coloring books? Ever see a picture of Daniel in the lion's den in a Sunday school book for kids? Generally, so there he is smiling, using that big old fluffy lion for a pillow, right? And that's the way but is that scriptural? Is that what Scripture says happened? Check out, let me read to you, and you absorb for yourself at this point. Daniel 6:21. Daniel says, this is when Daniel's being released from the den. And he says, O king, live forever, of course, the greeting to the king. And then he explains, he simply says this: my God sent an angel and shut the lion's mouth so that they have not hurt me, because I've been found innocent before him. All he says is, my God shut the lion's mouth so they could not hurt me. It doesn't go beyond that. Now, we know from verses 18 and 19, the king had a very restless night. But I would propose to you that Daniel had a pretty restless night too. I would propose to you that the idea of, it might be nice to think of him just so full of this faith that there he was just sleeping on a lion. Except Scripture doesn't tell us that. And when we make Scripture sound nice, sometimes we miss deep lessons or deeper lessons. Consider this realistically. Say it's you. There you are. You're a person of faith. You get put into a pitch black cave where you can see nothing. All you can do is smell some kind of animals in there. And as you're in that dark, quiet place, you hear those thumps of those giant paws every now and then. Ever hear big cats when they walk? If you haven't, you won't forget the sound. It's just a thud, 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 thud. Every now and then, maybe you feel like a brush of lion's hair go by your arm and you go rigid. There he is. What's he going to do? And then, even worst of all, every now and then, that big old snout on those things. There you are. You're kneeling down, just praying away to the Lord. Save me, save me, save me. And this thing breathes on you. A flesh-eating predator, hot breath, rank, just breathing on you. You know those fangs are only this far away from you. You're smelling the lion's breath. There it is. Now, would you be laying on him, sleeping? I think I would be in the greatest fear I have ever experienced in my life. And I would be in the deepest prayer I ever experienced in my life. And I believe that's where Daniel was. He wasn't sleeping. He was dealing with real life, and that's not sleeping on your enemy. That's not what was going on. The point, or the deeper lesson here, is this: it's not wrong to be frightened. All of us, that is part of human nature. And when situations get that dicey, we are filled, and if we're not careful, completely overcome by fear. Faith is not being fearless. Faith is what you do in your fear and what you do with your fear. Faith, genuine, victorious faith, is what you do in your fear and with your fear. In the case like Daniel is, this stuff with the History Channel, it's amazingly inaccurate. I would say that. However, they capture the spirit of some things beautifully. And one of the things I thought they captured really well was at one point, he was still full of fear, but he just said, Lord, it's yours. What can I do? And he just gave it over to the Lord. And that's really a great lesson for us. One is we acknowledge we are afraid. We take hold, we face our own fear, and then when we take hold of it, then we give it to God. We acknowledge it and face it, and then we give it to God. Faith is what you do in your fear and with your fear. And if we don't deal with our fear, we will never have victorious faith in God. It's not over yet, no question. We all have our lion's den. They all come up in our lives. The only question is, in all of this, is how are we doing with the qualifiers? How are we doing with the qualifiers? Are we joining him?